Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today it's finally time to talk about The Long Walk.
Walk until there's only one of you left. Who's ready to win?
So The Long Walk is directed by Francis Lawrence, who you might not know. I mean, I had to look up what kind of movies he did. But he did 4 out of the 5 Hunger Games movies, pretty much everyone except for the first one. And he also did Constantine and I Am Legend, so actually a few very famous movies. And I mean, this movie kind of falls in line with the Hunger Games. If you don't know what The Long Walk is, it is based on a Stephen King story about a group of young kids, one from each state of the United States, who have to walk. The winner gets a bunch of money, and everyone else who loses... So, yeah. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I was actually just very confused by how the hell you'd make a good movie out of this. And then when the reviews came out, people were very positive about it. So I thought, you know what, I'm actually gonna go see it. And it took me a while to finally get the chance to go see it, but I did. About 1.5 to 2 weeks ago by now. Sorry I couldn't do a review earlier, but I was actually shocked by this movie. It is, so far, one of my favorite movies of the year. It was fantastic. I really liked it. It had so much heart, much more than I thought it would. And it's kind of funny because, like you see in the trailer, the walking, that's like most of the movie. The movie has a short intro at which these kids start walking, and at that point it's pretty much all walking up until the end of the movie. There is like 1 or 2 like flashback scenes, and I was kind of scared that these flashback scenes are gonna be thrown around the whole movie, because you do kind of feel like at the end of the movie, like you've been walking with these kids for such a long time. And I feel like adding in more of these flashback scenes would have taken away from that. So I'm glad that there are only like a few in there, which is only serves for the main character, Ray. He's the only main character who you get to see a flashback of. All the other characters, including McVreeze, which was my favorite character in the movie, you don't really get to see stuff of his past. He only really tells you about it, which actually really works in my opinion. You kind of follow Ray, like he is the main character of the movie, like I said, and throughout this dark journey, he actually makes a bunch of friends as well. But the downside to that, of course, is that there can only really be one winner. So you're either gonna have to watch your friends that you just made died, or you're gonna have to die yourself. So yeah, it's like I said, it's a great story, and it sets up this friendship to be torn apart. You kind of know that by the beginning of the movie. But it's still so great. It's so well done. Like I said, there's so much heart. So I said, like, McVreeze was my favorite character. I think he had the most heartwarming. He was the most heartwarming character of them all. Just very good, and I really like that. So you know, the idea of this character potentially dying by the end of the movie was a little devastating. You kind of work toward it, and you're like, oh, it's gonna happen at some point, right? I mean, you have that with pretty much every character in the movie. The bad guy is played by Mark Hamill, by the way, who plays the Major. And I feel like ever since he stepped down from the Star Wars things, like he said he wasn't going to come back to Star Wars, and he also said he wasn't coming back to DC because Kevin Conroy died. I feel like ever since then he's been doing like other stuff. He was in The Wild Robot, and he was in The Life of Chuck earlier this year, which I also really liked. And now he's in this. He's the bad guy. I wouldn't say he's in it that much, though his role is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see him in something like this. And I want to see Mark Hamill in more of these kinds of roles, because I think he can really nail this. So the movie is about 1 hour and 45 minutes long, which I think is actually great. It shouldn't have been much longer, because this was, in my opinion, the perfect time for it. It didn't really get boring anywhere. It didn't really drag anywhere that I can remember, at least. So like I said, if it was any longer, then maybe I would have felt that way. And maybe if it was shorter, then you would have taken some of the heart out of the movie. So I feel like the runtime of the movie is actually great. Like I said, it's not a long watch at all. But it is a very enjoyable one. And you really do start to feel a connection with a lot of these characters throughout the story. So yeah, it's great. Also, I don't know if any of you have seen my review for One Battle After Another, where I said that I had a little bit of a problem with some of the messaging in the movie. This movie kind of does the opposite of that, and I really liked it. About seeing the good in the dark times. That's actually a lesson that I think is something that we could all take something away from at this moment in time. So seeing that in the movie was actually very cool, and it made me smile a bit. Although I do have to say that the ending kind of diminishes that, maybe. Though it's also, within the context of the story, quite understandable. You'll just have to see it for yourself to see what I mean, because I don't want to spoil the movie. But like I said, the ending maybe took away from that message a little bit. But still, I think throughout most of the movie, this message is conveyed of, even in this dark time, we should be a little more united, and we should try to see the good things in even in this bad time. So, yeah, it spoke to me. So that's, I guess, another reason why I really like the movie. But so it is very much a character-driven story. There's not a bunch of set pieces, like big set pieces. I think there's like, from what I can remember, there's one, which was also very cool, by the way. But other than that, it's very much character-driven, and you gotta like that sort of stuff. If you're okay with that, then yeah, you're probably gonna really enjoy this one. Me from the editing booth, by the way. I'm editing the video right now, and I realized that I forgot to talk about this major point in the movie, which is that one of the reasons why it had so much heart is because it was very funny. Like, these characters constantly crack jokes at one another, sometimes at one another's expense, but they always make jokes, and it's actually, it really works, the comedy. So you feel this connection of brotherhood between these people that actually kind of just met. So that's also one of the reasons why it's very heartfelt. Like, it makes you smile because they're joking with one another, even though someone might get shot 20 minutes from then. So, yeah. So this is kind of my short opinion on The Long Walk. Like I said, it's been a little bit of a while. Usually I like to do these reviews like a day or two after I've seen the movie. But for personal reasons, I couldn't do it until now. But like I said, very enjoyable watch. Please go out and see it if you still have the chance to do so, because I'm pretty sure the movie made a profit by now, because the budget was quite low. But it's a great movie about great characters. A lot of young talent in this movie, a lot of young actors that are like up and coming, like the kid from Jojo Rabbit, and the dude who played the android in the last Alien movie, Alien Romulus. He was my favorite character in the movie. I don't know their names, but if you know what I mean, then you know you can envision the people that I'm talking about. Other than that, like I said, I don't have a lot to say about the movie without spoiling a bunch of stuff, because people die in this movie. I think that's pretty obvious. And if you know movies like The Hunger Games and stuff like that, then and you like that sort of stuff, then this is also a good reason to go and see a movie like this. So yeah, I want to thank you guys all for watching this video. I'm probably going to go see Frankenstein this weekend, and I'm hoping to do a review for that as well, because I'm really excited to see that. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more movie content and Pokemon content as well. And I'll see you guys later. Bye bye!